All right, welcome everybody to UTM Discover Day. My name is Yvonne, and I'm the Student Recruitment Officer here within the Office of Student Recruitment and Admissions here at the University of Toronto, Mississauga. Really glad to be here and really glad to see all of you. Joining me today is our student ambassador, Sierra, which Sierra will have a chance to introduce herself and also give us a really wonderful virtual tour. And also, I'd like to mention two very, very important people today. So we have Austin, who is helping produce the show, and we also have Lily, who is helping monitoring the chat. With that being said, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the chat, and we will be having some Q&A session towards the last 20 minutes or so of today's webinar. So for today's session, we're going to start by having a quick presentation. I understand that many of you have already been admitted into UTM. You have accepted your offer. So you must be wondering what's going on next and what is UTM all about and what do we offer here. So welcome, and I will be providing information for that. After the 20 minutes or so, I will invite Sarah back to have a wonderful virtual tour with all of you, and towards the last 20 minutes or so, both Sarah and I will be able to answer some questions. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to say goodbye temporarily to Sarah and start my presentation. All right, so again, welcome everybody to our Discover Day. For those who have already accepted, received an offer, accepted the offer, congratulations to all of you again. We are very glad to have you join us this fall. For those of you who's thinking about joining us in the future, welcome as well, and we look forward to seeing you in the future. So before we get started, I would like to make a land acknowledgement. We wish to acknowledge this land on which of the University of Toronto operates. For thousands of years, it has been the traditional land of the Huron-Wendat, the Seneca, and the Mississaugas of the Credit. Today, this meeting place is still the home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island, and we're grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land. For me, myself, I'm an immigrant to this beautiful country, wonderful land as well, and I'm really thankful for this opportunity. Okay, so a little bit about UTM as well as the U of T. So we are Canada's largest university, also one of the largest in North America as well as the world. And for U of T, it is quite special because we are one university with 3 distinct campuses. Also, before I go to next, just want to let everybody know that we're a world-renowned institution, so constantly ranked as the top 20 institution through QS as well as Times. So as you see in the picture, in the middle, that is our founding campus. That is our St. George campus, and you see CN Tower right over there. It is also our largest campus, and it hosts about 45,000 undergraduate students. On the left side, and that is where we are today, UTM, University of Toronto, Mississauga. So we consider, in a Canadian context, as a mid-sized campus, and we have just a little over 15,000 undergraduate students. As you also see in the picture here, it is very green, and we are really proud to be the #1 most sustainable campus in the past 5 years. And on the right side, and that is the east end of the GTA, so the Greater Toronto area, and that is our Scarborough campus, so also known as our co-op campus. So very similar to UTM, Scarborough is also a mid-sized campus, and they have about 14,000 undergraduate students. And you might be wondering, so as a U of T student, how do I transfer among all 3 campuses? So between UTM and UT St. George, we actually have a free shuttle bus. And as you accepted your offer, UTM students, it will be free for you to take the shuttle bus. So whether you want to take a course maybe at St. George or just simply want to check out downtown, feel free to do that. And between St. George and Scarborough campus, we actually have very convenient public transportation, and it will take you about 1 hour or so. Okay, so now let's take a closer look at UTM. So like I've mentioned that we are a mid-sized campus, has just a little over 15,000 undergraduate students. And among our students, about 28% of them are our international students, and they represent more than 130 different countries. And the rest of the 11,000 are our domestic students. And to choose to study at UTM also means that you will be having opportunities to give yourself chances to get into more than 180 different programs, spanning more than 90 areas of study in 18 different academic units. Another great advantage that we have here at UTM is our robust alum network. So currently we have 72,000 alumni, and they're thriving really all over the world in different industries across more than 110 different countries. And U of T wise, tri-campus, our alumni network is actually beyond 500,000. So that means that there's a lot of opportunities for you to get connected, whether you're looking for, maybe career opportunities or research or post-grad studies. And if you decide that, I'd like to spend a bit more time with you after my undergraduate study, we welcome that as well, as we also have 900 graduate students here with us. So now it comes to the point of why UTM, why we are the best choice for you. So I'm going to mention a few, and I'm sure that Sierra will be touching a few points from her personal experience as well. So for UTM as well as U of T, we are a world-renowned institution, especially in research. So currently for UTM, we have more than 500 active research projects, and we generate more than $17 million each academic year. Also for the city of Mississauga, it's quite diverse. Regardless where you're from, your country of origin, you'll be able to find your communities here. More than 1,000 different restaurants for you to choose from, and the largest mall in Ontario called Square One. Our students always choose to hang out with their friends over there. Also, there's a lot of nature here on campus. As you see in the picture here, there's a lovely deer there. This picture was actually taken on campus. So not only you'll be able to see the deer, there's squirrels, there's different wildlife here on campus as well. They're quite friendly, and it's a great opportunity for you to experience some nature. And in terms of the community as well as student services, we offer a ton of support throughout your study, your time with us, whether it's in residence, whether it's in careers. For our international students, maybe you have questions about your study permit, we have services for you. If you feel that you may need some accessibility support or health and wellness, we have certified counselors, psychologists, they're here to help you as well. And for those of you, who's thinking about maybe starting your own company to really have the entrepreneurship spirit in the future, guess what? We have 2 startup labs here for you. So the first one is called Spin Up, and that is very proudly to say that it is the first wet lab here at U of T, specifically for life science students. And we also have iCube, which they will help you bring your startup all the way from the idea to a fruitation. And also lots of great opportunities for you to study abroad, to explore different opportunities overseas. And currently at UTM, there's more than 140 different universities that we partner with. And with that being said, that is the end of my presentation. I'm going to bring Sarah back, and she's going to give you a lovely virtual tour.
Okay. Hi, everyone. As mentioned, my name is Sierra, and I'm currently a third year student studying forensic anthropology. And I'm also an executive member of the Caribbean Connections Club here at UTM, as I'm originally from Trinidad and Tobago. Additionally, I also work in the Office of Student Recruitment and Admissions. So I deal with prospective and incoming students, for example, by answering emails, doing walk ins, on campus events, and campus tours like this one. So, just some more fun facts about me. I love traveling, reading, anything related to law and forensics, as well as I actually used to play the piano for 7 years. And finally, if you guys have any questions about like clubs or forensics or anything related to student life on campus and my experience, I'm happy to answer them at the end of the presentation in the Q&A session. Okay, so I did give the little background on myself already, and we are just going to continue and we're going to go through all of the buildings on campus. So, firstly, we're going to look at the Knapp Center and Innovation Complex. So, as I said, this is the Knapp Center and Innovation Complex. Firstly, referring to the Knapp Center, it was originally built in 1992 and then expanded into the Innovation Complex in 2014. Specifically, the Knapp Center has lecture halls like KN137 that seats about 350 students, and it's the largest lecture hall in this building. Also within this building, we have what's called the Blackwood Gallery, where there are curated exhibitions featuring the art of local, national, and international artists. Our office, which is the SRA, also known as the Office of Student Recruitment and Admissions, is also located in the CNEF building. Moving on to the Innovation Complex, one of the major resources in this building that I want to talk about is the Office of the Registrar. So even though I do work within the registrar's office as a student ambassador, and that's why I'm giving this presentation today, one of the main offices on campus is the Office of the Registrar. And they employ students through what's called the work study program. And it basically gives students the opportunity to work part-time on campus alongside their academics. So the Office of the Registrar is essentially your main point of contact for any academic and financial advising that you may need as a student. So you could kind of think of the Office of the Registrar as being your high school guidance counselor. For me, as an international student, I use the services of the Office of the Registrar very frequently and booked one on one appointments in my first year to ask questions about things like scholarships. As for food in this building, if you're like me and you really need a quick coffee fix or a small snack, we have the second cup. Finally, one more fun fact about this building is that a TV show called The Boys was actually shot just outside the Office of the Registrar reception area. Now, that's it for this building. We're going to head over to the Davis building that you can actually access through the underground tunnel in Kenneth that you can see on the right-hand side top picture. So, this is the William G. Davis Building, also known as the Davis Building according to students. It's actually one of the oldest standing and largest buildings on campus, and it was initially built in 1974. If you do decide to use the tunnel from Kenneth to Davis, one of the first places that you will come across is the HCC, which is the Health and Counseling Center. We at the HCC, we typically offer numerous services like medical care, mental health care, nutritional counseling, and health education for all students. As a student, you're able to book medical appointments, for instance, if you're injured, if you're feeling unwell, or if you just feel like you need a checkup. All of these services are covered by UHIP and OHIP insurance for registered students, depending on if you are international or domestic. For me, one service that I have used the HCC for was actually last year when I got my flu shots completely free of charge. So I definitely recommend going and doing that. In my opinion, the services here at the HCC are very, very convenient as I don't have to go off campus just to get a flu shot if I can do it right at school. So that's it for the HCC. And when you continue down that hallway, you will come across the UTM bookstore. And you can see the image of that on the right-hand side at the bottom. For the bookstore, you're able to purchase merchandise, you're able to purchase physical textbooks as well as online textbooks on the UTM bookstore's website. They also have what's called a sell back program where you're able to save money on textbooks, which is, very convenient because we all know how expensive school textbooks can be. Additionally, you can get other course materials at the bookstore like sweats, cups, t-shirts, hoodies, goggles, calculators, and lab coats. It's basically anything that you would need, you can get it at the UTM bookstore. In my experience, the bookstore is the place where most first year students would go in their first semester because U of T has collaborations with many famous brands like Lululemon, OVO, and Nike. Next, we're going to be going to the Davis Building's main level. So, for the Davis Building's main level, you will find our newly renovated food court area. And this is actually one of the busiest areas on campus. This is typically where a lot of students like to socialize and study. In the food court, we have chains like Tim Hortons, Thai Express, and Harvey's, all at the convenience for the students. We also have UTM homegrown dining options that's grown at a greenhouse actually on campus. Additionally, we have beehives in one of our buildings that we can harvest the honey from, and it's actually used in our cafeteria, as you can see in the middle picture at the top. Also, if you have any dietary restrictions or if you're just a picky eater, there's a wide range of food locations across the campus, which can support all of your dietary needs, some including being halal food, gluten-free, and vegan. Also, if you're in this area of the building, you will find the Student Services Hub, as you can see in the picture that is in the middle on the bottom. At the Student Services Hub, you can find accessibility services, the Center for Student Engagement, also known as the CSE, the Career Center, and the International Education Center. As an international student, as I mentioned earlier, the IAC has helped me making a lot of new friends based on the different programs that they run during the first year, like the transition program, as well as basically just any workshops that they have for international students to help them integrate into university life. Additionally, they help me learn about many of these services that are offered specifically to international students, and specifically the UHIP insurance. I also worked with a career counselor at the Career Center to help review my resume and cover letter for advice on how to make myself more marketable for jobs. The career counselor actually helped me learn about the many on-campus jobs that we have here at UTM. Next, the Davis Building also holds the Office of Campus Safety and is located on the third floor of this building. We have special constables that actually work on campus that take part in what's called the Walk Safe program, where you can call the office and you can have a special constable escort you around campus if you're feeling unsafe or if it's just really late and it's kind of lonely. This can include waiting at the bus stop with you or walking to you to your car if you would like. Finally, for this building, we also have large lecture halls and it's home to the biology, chemistry, and anthropology labs. You'll also find departments of anthropology, earth sciences, biology, chemistry, and physics in this building. Next up, we're going to be looking at the Recreation, Athletics, and Wellness Center, also known as the ROC. Yeah, as I said, this is also known as the Rock, according to students. And you probably realized that this building is actually connected to the Davis Building. Around UTM, you'll realize that many of our buildings are actually connected by hallways or tunnels, just for the convenience of the students, especially when it's like really cold, rainy, or snowy outside. At the Rock, you will find our state of the art fitness facility where we have a variety of different fitness, recreation, and sports programs. We have an indoor 8-lane swimming pool, an indoor running track, 3 gym courts, squash courts, tennis courts, weight rooms, and outdoor fields as well, including tennis and beach volleyball courts. Also, The Rock operates what's called drop in sports, which are available to all UTM students regardless of athletic ability. So, you have drop in sports for things like badminton, table tennis, basketball, and volleyball. We also do offer what's called women's only drop in sessions that happen twice a day from Monday to Friday for anybody who's interested. I would also like to say that other than attending classes, this is how I spend the most of my time at UTM, well, besides working as well. I'm a pretty active person, and so any chance that I get, I'm going to be using the gym facilities or attending one of the drop in sessions. The most recent drop in session that I actually attended was badminton because I never actually played badminton before and it was surprisingly fun. So I definitely recommend going on to the Rock website and checking out which sports are available at what times. If you actually walk up the large staircase that's located right outside the Rock, you will be taken right back to the Davis building into the main food court area. Next, we're going to be going into the CCT building, which stands for Communication, Culture, and Technology. So this is the CCT building, which, as I said, it stands for Communication, Culture, and Technology. It was opened in 2007 and is the home to the Institute of Communication, Culture, Information, and Technology, also known as CCIT, which is a program that is exclusive to the UTM campus. CCT 1080 is actually one of the 2 largest lecture halls that we have on campus, seating 500 students. You would likely have a class in this lecture hall in your first year because first year classes are really, really big. On the main level of this building, which is called the CCT atrium, you will find what's called the IT service desk, as you can see in the right image on the top. The UTM service desk, they are the ones who issue your T card, which is just your identification card as a UTM student. And I've also personally gone to the UTM service desk on various occasions to get help with my laptop and troubleshooting any technological issues. Next, we're going to be transitioning into the Hazel McCallion Academic Learning Center, and luckily there is yet another tunnel that takes us from the CCT building to this building. So this is the Hazel McCallion Academic Learning Center, and it was also opened in 2007. And it consists of 2 main things, the school library and one of the 2 Starbucks that we have on campus. The Hazel McCallion Academic Learning Center is named after the former and longest running Mississauga mayor, Hazel McCallion. Specifically about the library, as a U of T student, you have access to over 40 different libraries and over 16 million items. All of these libraries are located across all of the campuses at U of T. So as a U of T student, you could enter any one of the libraries and use any of these services. This library has Canada's actual largest gaming archive, which is known as the Sid Bolton Collection. The library is actually one of the most popular spots for students to study on campus, as it consists of 4 floors, over 1,000 study spaces, 150 computer workstations, and 19 study rooms. In terms of the study rooms, students can book them with their friends, and it holds up to about 2 to 5 students, if you prefer to study with friends rather than being alone. The library actually also has a team of librarians and research specialists who work with students at the reference and research desk, and they can help you to learn to search for, evaluate, and use materials that you may need for assignments, as well as doing citations. There's also the circulation desk, which is the information and loans desk, and they loan out library books as well as laptops, chargers, headphones, headsets, whiteboards, and anything you may need as a student. Next, right next to the library and the Hazel McCanley Academic Learning Center, we have the Instructional Center. So, the Instructional Center, also known as IB, was opened in 2011 and is one of our busiest buildings on campus alongside the Davis Building. It was actually constructed with durable and local building materials made of renewable or recycled content. That is why the color of the building is kind of a bluish green color. This building has our small and large scale lecture halls, study spaces, and a computer lab on the second floor. As you can see in the middle picture at the top, some of my fellow club members in the Caribbean Connections club, we often have events or meetings in this building due to the large lecture hall spaces. This event specifically, as you can see in that image, was a meet and greet with our associate club members. So we all wore white, basically just to take team pictures. Now, moving on to the main floor of the Instructional Center, we have more food options on campus like Subway, Quesada, Aso Sushi, and just some more snacks and drinks for students. At this building, there's actually one of the most popular and frequently used services on campus, which is the UTM shuttle bus, as you can see in the middle image. The UTM shuttle bus picks up and drops students who are going from the UTM campus to the downtown St. George campus and back. This is a free express shuttle bus service for UTM students only, and the students can use the shuttle, for instance, going to class at St. George, if they want to go home, or if they simply just want to explore downtown Toronto for free. All you have to do is take that same T card, which is your student identification card, and scan it on the bus, and the bus driver will let you on. Next, after this building, we are going to be heading over to one of the newer buildings on campus that students call MN. MN, which is a shortened version of the full name, which is Manjiwe Nendem Umunan, means gathering of the minds. And this reflects both the indigenous history of the land and the future of the campus. It unofficially opened in 2018 after replacing the original North Building in 1967. This building is home to various active learning classrooms and is also home to the departments of political science, language studies, and sociology. We also have the Robert Gillespie Academic Learning Center, the Academic Skills Center, which is also known as the RGASC, on the third floor. And this Academic Skills Center is a great resource for all students as they offer one-on-one appointments, workshops, and programs for academic skills like math, writing, and reading. Although I have many classes in this building, I mainly come to MN just to use the services of the RGASC and to get feedback on my assignments before I submit them. For past essays and assignments, I have come to the RGSC, have my work reviewed and looked at before I submit any work, and in my opinion, it's very helpful. Next, after this building, we are going to be heading over to DH, which is known as Deerfield Hall, which can be accessed through yet another connection or transitional area from the MN building. Deerfield Hall was opened in 2014 and was named after the UTM Dare that you often see on campus in the evenings or at nighttime. This building is home to departments like theater and drama studies, math and computational sciences, psychology, and English. On the second floor of this building, we have the MLC, which is known as the Math Learning Center, where students can get free math help from other students like TAs or just past students who may want to offer their services. This building, similarly to MN, also offers study spaces, classrooms, and research labs. In my personal opinion, this is the best spot to study on campus just because it's really quiet and there are a lot of study spaces on all of the floors to choose from. Additionally, we have our second Starbucks on campus in this building on the main floor. And right opposite to the Starbucks, we have what's called the North Side Bistro, which is essentially just another food option where you have your build your own salad bars, pastries, and oven baked pizza. Next, we're going to be going to the final stop on this tour, which is the Student Center. So, the Student Center actually opened in the 1990s and is home to many of UTM's student clubs. The UTM-SU, which is the UTM Students Union, is located here, and they support over 15,000 undergraduate students on campus by advocating for student rights, providing essential services, and creating meaningful and impactful events. If you do decide to come to UTM, they will be running what's called your Orientation Week events, which start in late August and early September, alongside the Center of Student Engagement, which is just basically jam packed full of fun activities to get students to transition into university as well as to get to know each other. The Student Union also hosts events for all students throughout the year as well. What I really like about this building specifically are the food options that are actually run by the UTMSU. So this entire building, as well as the convenience store, also known as the Duck Stop, as you can see in the middle image there, are fully run by the UTMSU and the students. Some of the food options that we have are chat time, as well as the on-campus pub, which is known as Blind Duck. The Blind Duck sells burgers, fries, tenders, ice cream, churros, basically anything that you would want from a restaurant. Also in the UTMSU, there are pool tables located here if you're just looking for a fun activity to do on campus with your friends. In the Blind Duck pub area is actually where my club has hosted many different functions and events for enjoyment. So as you can see in the bottom image there, we had a Caribbean Connections Heritage event. So the space is really, really big and it's very convenient for events like that. And with all of that being said, that is the end of the tour, and we want to thank you guys for coming out to this virtual tour around the University of Toronto, Mississauga, and looking at some of the most important spaces on campus. If you do have any questions about programs, admissions, or anything related to my student experience, feel free to let me know in the Q&A session. Now I'm going to hand things back over to Yvonne.
All right, thank you so much, Sierra, for a wonderful virtual tour. I'm sure that you all now have an idea of what our campus looks like and the classes, supports, and what you will be experiencing here on campus. And like Sierra mentioned, if you have any questions, both Sierra and I will be very happy to answer any questions that you may have. So while we give people a few minutes to draft your questions, we're just gonna address this one question from Samuel. Thank you so much, Samuel, for submitting this question. So the question is there a martial arts gym / kickboxing gym? So what I have listed here is that it's not a specific gym just for the activities, but our group fitness schedules does have a different type of kickboxing programs for free for registered UTM students. We also have a really cool martial arts student club on campus, which you are definitely welcome to sign up for. Sierra, do you have anything else you would like to add?
Yeah, so we do have like the drop-in sessions for kickboxing and martial arts, but no, we don't have like a specific gym dedicated to that. But I do recommend looking at the schedule on the Rock website to see when there are going to be sessions that you may be interested in joining.
Yes, thank you so much. Uh, while we haven't seen any other questions, we're just gonna cover a few kind of commonly asked questions at this time of the year. So one quite common of the questions that we were asked is that am I actually getting into a specific program? And this question, for example, if the student's saying I'm into computer science, I'm actually going to study computer science in my first year, or I'm actually going into biology, or I'm actually getting into life science so that I can apply for medical school. So the answer to this is that just not quite yet. So as an incoming first year student, the first year is the time for you to explore. At this point, you actually were not admitted to a specific program just yet. You were instead admitted into what we call an admission category. So under this category, there's quite a bit of different programs for you to choose from. And some programs are available for both specialist, major, and minor. Some of these programs are only open for major and minor. Some of these programs are only open for minors. So at the end of your first year, normally sometime in March, early April, that is the time when you will be applying for what we call a post, a program of study. So at this point, yes, you will be applying to the program that interests you. Maybe you have a future career in mind. That is a time for you to do so. Just so in the incoming fall, the second year, when you start in September, that is a time when you are actually studying a specific program. Yeah. With that being said, we have this question from Samuel again. Thank you so much, Samuel, for asking this question. When and how do we do our course selections? So I'm going to give you the when, and I'm sure that Sierra will be able to share more about the how. So for this year, first year students, your course selection date is July the 17th. And Sarah would like to share a bit more about how you pick your courses.
Yeah, no problem. So we do have a website that's called the academic calendar. And if you look up the academic calendar and you look up which program or which field you're interested in, it's basically going to give you a breakdown of which classes or courses you would take in each year of study. So it will give you like number one, and it will say in your first year you would take these classes, your second year these classes, etc. So that's how you know which classes to take, and then you would actually go onto the Acorn website and you would log in using your UTOR ID, and then you would select which classes you want to take for both the fall and winter semester, not just the fall semester. So essentially, when you choose courses in July, you will be choosing it for the entire academic year in your first year. So yeah, you have a little bit of time until then to kind of decide which classes you want to take. But I do recommend looking at that website just to get an idea of what has to be taken essentially.
Hmm. Thank you so much, Sarah. With that being said, our students also always ask that when do I see my fees? My tuition, incidental, all of these fees being posted. So the answer to that will be that after you pick your courses, you typically will see the invoice being posted in your Acorn account sometime in August. And from there, you'll be able to know the exact amount that you need to pay. Another question, which is really good. How do we get the UTOR ID? Sarah, would you like to take this one?
You could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think with this one, you do get an email to change your join ID identification for that portal to the UTOR ID, I believe.
Yes, yeah. Thank you so much. Yes. So you would have already received a communication from us in terms of a step-by-step how to collect your U-Tour ID. If you still have any questions, please do contact. There's an office who's answering all the questions, especially that if you're not able to get the U-Tour ID for some reason, make sure that you reach out. We'll look for the website for U-Tour ID as well, just so you have it by your side, that you can take a look as well. And now here, what type of a club activities could we join? And I'm going to refer to Sarah on this one as well for lots of clubs.
Yeah, no problem. So we have basically any club that you can think of. So there's a website. I think if you just type in U of T clubs and activities, it's gonna give you a complete list of all of the clubs and student groups on all three campuses. So you could join any one that you want to. You're not just limited to the ones at UTM. Yeah, so honestly, it's just based on interest. There's like 100 different clubs that you can join. I can't list like all, but like for example, there's the Caribbean Connections, which I'm a part of. There's the crochet club. There's a martial arts club. There's basically a club for everything that you may want to join. A film club as well. So if you just go to that website, you could kind of see what is there.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And just to, give you some sort of an idea, but we do have something quite unique. So we actually have a club called a lettuce club. So the students in this club actually would collect and just taste different type of lettuce, which is quite cool. I think it's very cool. Also, for those of you who's out there, maybe you really love Taylor Swift. I don't know, maybe you want to see the Eras tour, you really love her. You're like, okay, I want to see more Swiftie. We also have a Swiftie club on campus as well. So you're able to kind of gather and then talk more about the song, Taylor Swift, the positive spirit. So lots of options for you to choose from. Thousands of clubs across Tri-Campus for you to choose from. That's a really good question. Another, I would say, common question that we typically get for this time of the year is your admission conditions, right? So when you guys received the offer is called conditional offer. Meaning that there are certain conditions that you need to meet in order for you to maintain the offer. Now, the conditions be certain courses, grades, prerequisites, you need to maintain the same level as when you were applying to UTM as well as U of T. Could be your English proficiency, could be your diploma, for example, the IB ones. So it could be various of things. And typically we would at the end of July, August, typically that is when the official transcripts will be sent to us. Now, between now and when you receive your final transcripts or your English proficiency test, if at a certain point that you feel like I'm not really sure. Maybe my grades performance are not as when I was submitting my application. I was a little worried. So would it impact my offer in some way? With that, we encourage you and invite you to submit a form, which you should see this in your joint portal called Academic Conditions Form. So at any point that you are concerned, please fill out that form so that we can take a look, assess, and move forward. But please do let us know. And next question, really good as well. Could we transfer to different campus? Absolutely, yes. So as a U of T student, and you are definitely free to transfer between, UTM, St. George, or Scarborough. What do we call an internal transfer? So there are certain conditions that you do need to make. For example, for UTM, for the internal transfer, you will have to meet certain conditions. So we have CGPA requirements. We also have information in terms of which faculty that you transfer from, right? So for example, that all three campuses we have business, arts, and science, but this campus does not have engineering. This campus doesn't have music. This campus also doesn't have kinesiology. So for that, the process would look a little different, but yes, still possible for sure. I would also like to mention a little bit for transferring, right? So for example, if your intention is to transfer into computer science program to St. George, for example, or Rotman Commerce to at St. George, even it is within faculty of arts and science, due to the competitive nature of these programs, it is quite hard, and it is very rare for students who's able to transfer from other campuses to these two programs specifically. And it's only because that first, it's competitive. Second, those who were admitted into these programs already, they would have priorities. So simply, it's how many capacities and a number of spots that we have. And that's why that to these programs, it's typically hard. It's not impossible. It's just, it would be very hard to transfer into these different programs. But that's a really good question. Anything else you'd like to add, Sierra, or?
No, I think you touched everything on the transferring. Yeah, as you said, there is the CGPA requirement also, just like I think like a grade requirement as well. But yeah, we do. There are some students who may want to transfer, but I think it's just based on like programs where one campus may have a program that we don't have. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good point. If you're not really sure, for example, if you would like to transfer out, do let us know, and we will be and give you guidance based on your situation as well. Okay. What can we do in the city outside of school? That is another good question. So I'm going to share kind of my thoughts, but I'm sure that Sarah will have more. So the city of Mississauga, as well as Toronto, because we're right next to each other, has a lot to offer. So in the summer months specifically, lots of events, lots of outdoor concerts. There's outdoor movies. There is music, opera, different things that you name it. So lots of things. If you like to shop, like I've mentioned, Square One is a great place to gather. And apart from that, Toronto also has a lot of malls for students to go and visit as well. And also, in downtown, you could take a look at the museum called the ROM. There's an aquarium. There's the CN Tower. For those brave souls, if you'd like to climb up, feel free. It's quite tall, and there's a restaurant up there as well. So there's a lot of activities, and regardless if it's a winter, if it's a summer, it's never a dull moment. That there's a lot of things for you to do, and also if you love food, lots of food options as well. Sarah?
Yeah, I feel like you've touched everything. There's like, for example, there's bike rentals that you can do. UTM has like a bike rental program if you want to bike around like the campus or Mississauga. Same for Toronto, you can do that there. There's the Toronto Islands. You can go take the ferry to go there. There's many restaurants. There's festivals, concerts. Yeah, there's honestly, especially summer, there's so many things to do. There's Wonderland and you can go to. There's the CNE. There's a bunch of different things, so I don't think you'll ever really be bored. You just have to know where things are and when. But if you just look online, there's a bunch of people that always post what you can do in Toronto or Mississauga this week. And yeah, there's honestly a bunch of things to do, especially for students. If you go to the student center on campus, They will often give you like ideas about what students may get discounts on, which areas, like in escape rooms or bowling, those types of things. Students often get discounts at certain companies. So you should definitely go to the student center to inquire about that.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, this is a great question. Also, another question about the transfer. So, at what year can we transfer? I believe that it is you have to fulfill at least 1 year in your admitted campus, and then in your second year, yes, that is a time when you think about transferring to different campuses. We hope that you are not leaving U of T completely. So, if you have any questions about the internal transfer, definitely please reach out to our office, as we also help with the transfer applicants as well. Okay. Are there any soccer club? For that, I believe we do. Yeah. Do you have any more information on this, Sierra, for the soccer
Um,
club?
yes, we do. I know we have like a tri-campus club that you can try out for. I'm not sure if UTM specifically has like a team, but I do know for sure there is a tri-campus team. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, wow. And if you are a professional soccer player, we have UTM Soccer. They actually have an Instagram. So if you are interested, I would say follow them. It's basically just at UTM Soccer, and there's different seasons. They have practices. They have games every week, and it sounds like a really fun. Um, yeah, great fun opportunities here. There's also women's outdoor soccer. So you could choose whatever that interests you and join the clubs in that way. And there's would be for these student clubs, there will be no fees because in your fees, it has already been included in the that part of the fee is the student clubs fee. Okay. These are some really, really good questions. Um, so to find out more, information, I've seen information, a lot of questions about these um, transferring or as well as the student clubs. So we have a few good resources for transferring students. So whether it is students transferring between campuses, internal transfer, or transferring from other post-secondary campuses, full-time, part-time, we're having more information, which we're gonna share it in the chat with everybody. And there's also guidelines in terms of if you are curious about transferred credits, especially for those who's taking IB courses, who's doing A level, who is doing AP courses, you might be eligible for transferred credits. So for that, you should in your offer letter, you should already receive this hyperlink called transfer credits application. So make sure that you fill that out, and we'll be able to further assess and grant transfer credits that way. So that's how transfer credits works. And in terms of the student clubs, like Sarah mentioned, that you could Google, and we have hundreds, thousands of student clubs out there for the entire U of T. And as a UTM student, U of T student, you will be free to join any club, Strike Campus. So if there's something, in downtown or Scarborough that you are interested in that we have not yet had something here at UTM, feel free to join them for activities, for any fun things that they do as well. Another great thing about the student clubs is that if you see like a need that maybe we don't have anything offered in this area just yet, you will be welcome to start your own club, and that would be really cool. So you will be having, your really cool UTM, U of T legacies here. So yeah, there's definitely lots of different options for you to stay engaged with the community. Okay. We have 4 more minutes until the end of our sessions. So, any other questions that you may have? And I think another great area to to touch base on is the different services. So oftentimes that the students would be asking that, oh, I have questions, maybe in my academics, but it's a mix of could be a little bit of academics, could be a little bit of admission, or could be a little bit of immigration, could be a little bit of a career development. So for all of these different questions, I would say definitely when you are here on campus, or maybe you are already here in Canada, definitely come over here and do a campus tour. It's a free of charge. Come spend some time with us. Our professional trained tour guides, such as Sierra, will be able to have introduce the campus live to you. You'll be able to ask any questions, go visit the actual service, and meet the staff who will be able to support you. And if you're not really sure, where am I starting? I just have a very general question. So like Sierra has mentioned in the slide, the student hub. So the hub would be a great place for you to start. And we offer lots of a different type of advice. So our students would be asking, career advice. There could be academic advice, certain courses that you need to choose, or maybe what am I going to do after I graduate? Should I go to grad school? Should I go to medical school, law school? All of these are great options and great questions. We'll be able to answer it, and we'll be able to refer you to the appropriate departments and academic units to answer your questions. And we also have lots of drop-in sessions as well for academic advising, and for I think IEC has drop-in International Education Center. They have a drop-in sessions as well. So you don't even need to make an appointment. You could just drop by for any questions that's going to be 1 to 2 sentences. They'll be able to support you that way. And for those who's overseas, would love to see you. And if this is the first time for you to be in Canada, let us know, what is something that you are looking forward to spending time here in Canada. And our suggestion, advice for the first time, if you are first time in Canada, is that you definitely need to be prepared for winter. Our winter is quite serious. It's not it's not something like 0 degrees. We're looking at probably minus 10, minus 20. So you would be needing some proper clothing and gear for Canada. It's still very beautiful. It just will be a very unique and different experience. Okay. With that being said, we haven't seen any other questions, and it's 6 o'clock. Time is up, and we thank you so much for everybody who's joining us today, for asking all of these wonderful questions, for engaging with us. If you have any further questions, yes, please connect with us anytime by phone calls, by email, and if you're here in Mississauga, come visit us. And a thank you to Sierra, to Austin, to Lily as well. And we look forward to seeing you in the future, either in the fall or sometime in the near future. Have a great rest of the day, everybody, and see you again. Look forward to see you again. Bye.